What's up, guys? It's Big Boss Billy, and today I'm going to compare two games: Arma 3 Battle Royale, which is actually a mod for Arma 3, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Both are famous Battle Royale, last man standing type games. Now, I've been playing Arma 3 Battle Royale for a good 3 or 4 months now, and I love it, and I just recently bought PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So I figured this video we can compare pros and cons and different attributes of the two games to help you decide which one might be your favorite. If you've played one but not the other, it can help you decide whether you want to switch. So first up, let's focus on something that's not even about the gameplay. It's about the wait time to start a game and waiting in the lobby. So on the left here, I've got Arma 3 Battle Royale running at 12 times speed, and selecting a server is a manual process. You have to pick a server. Oftentimes you find one that's half full, and then you got to wait around in the server until it fills up with people. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is already finished playing on the right, auto selects a server for you, and usually there's only 1 minute or less of wait time as you wait for people to join the game. Now, a big reason for this is the sheer number of people playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds compared to Arma 3 Battle Royale, which I think is less than 1,000 at any given time, and PlayerUnknown Battleground is hundreds of times that much. However, this really changes the quality of life in the game. If you're going to spend 2 hours gaming, you spend a lot more time just waiting around in the lobby in Arma 3 Battle Royale. Next up is the core game mechanic of Battle Royale game modes, and that is a reducing circle, an area of play that as people are eliminated and as the game goes on gets smaller and smaller. Here you can see in Arma 3 Battle Royale, there's a blue circle on the map, and you're given a warning 60 seconds before play is restricted to this circle. Now the circle is visible on the map, and as you can see, I'm moving in towards the circle to get in there before the play is restricted. However, you can't actually see a barrier or anything in the actual gameplay. I'm just running towards an invisible circle that I know is there from the map. Now, in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, it's very different. First of all, you can actually see this like blue shimmery force field. Now, if you watch these guys fighting over here in the distance, you can see the circle is encroaching on them, and they're just killed as the circle passes over them. So what this looks like on the map is actually two circles. The outer circle, the blue circle, that slowly moves in towards the white circle. This is a really cool mechanic, unlike Arma 3, where the circle just jumps and restricts gameplay instantly based on a timer. Next up is a variety in building models. Now, both games have a lot of kind of copy-pasted regular building models that you'll find multiple copies of around the map. But I feel like PlayerUnknown's Battleground has a little bit more unique building models that you can find around the maps. Schools, hospitals, police stations that you're only going to find one copy of, and it really makes for a refreshing change to the game. There's also a lot more furniture in PlayerUnknown Battleground. All the buildings seem to be populated like they would in real life, whereas Arma 3, after 6 years of development, all the buildings are basically completely empty, and that applies to the Battle Royale mod as well, and it just kind of reduces the realism of Arma 3 Battle Royale. Alright, let's talk about view distance. In Arma 3, there's kind of a fog about a mile away or 1 or 2 kilometers away that really restricts your view distance. Now, this isn't a big deal. You're very rarely sniping or worrying about people that are farther away than this fog is. But in PlayerUnknown Battleground, there's no fog. You can see the entire map completely clearly. This is probably based on the difference in engines that the games use. Now, speaking of maps, let's talk about the maps. Currently, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is in early access, and it only has one map available. Whereas Arma 3 Battle Royale has, I believe, 6 different maps that you can play on, and you can select servers based on which map you want to play. Now, here's a pretty cool thing. This is a clip of a squad driving in a car in PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and look at how you can lean out of these cars. It's really kind of an elegant, it feels really smooth mechanic in PlayerUnknown Battleground to lean out of the cars, to shoot on the right side, on the left side, over top of the car, anything you want. This is just a really cool, neat little addition to PlayerUnknown's Battleground. However, Arma 3 has a different neat addition, and that is fine-tuned adjustments of your stances. So you can go from tiptoes to regular standing to low standing, to high crouching to regular crouching, to low crouching, to high prone, regular prone, and low prone. And additionally, in Arma 3 Battle Royale, you have this rolling mechanic, which is really cool, useful to sneak around, move quickly while you're laying prone, and also to dodge incoming fire. Now let's spend some time talking about inventory, item types, and inventory management. So in Arma 3, you have multiple weapon types, and you can swap out scopes on each of these weapon types. There's also the addition of bipod attachments to your weapons, and lights. However, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds takes this concept and moves it much farther. They have different types of magazines, extended magazines, quick draw magazines, barrel attachments like compensators, flash hiders, and silencers, different stocks, and cheek pads, shoulder pads. So the variety of customization you can do to your firearms in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, to me, feels better than Arma 3 Battle Royale. Now, they've simplified it a little bit. There's less ammo types. You know, the 7.62 round in PlayerUnknown's Battleground goes in all sorts of different types of firearms, from a revolver to sniper rifles to AK-47s. Whereas in Arma 3, there's much more ammunition types that are customized or dedicated to specific guns. It's just a little more realistic. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is going for a bit more of an arcadey feel, and I don't really have a preference one way or the other. It's kind of more up to personal choice. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds doesn't have binoculars or rangefinders, which Arma 3 Battle Royale does, which is interesting. Which is a nice tool in Arma 3 Battle Royale. Also, Arma 3, many of the scopes are adjustable. They have different scope modes. You can switch from a red dot on top of a scope to looking through the scope. You can adjust the zoom on scopes. In PlayerUnknown's Battleground, the scopes all have one mode and one zoom setting. If you want something different, you gotta swap out the scopes. Both games seem to have very similar distribution of loot around the map and similar item rarity. So there's always some items that are going to be more rare than others, some items that only drop out of crates. Both games share that mechanic. Although both games have silencers, in Arma 3 Battle Royale, the silencer actually increases slightly the velocity and therefore the damage of your rounds. Basically, a silencer acts as an extension of the barrel in real life, and Arma 3 mimics this. In Battle Royale, in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the silencer only reduces the muzzle flash and the sound from the gun. It doesn't affect the damage or bullet trajectory at all. Now, one little thing that's present in Arma 3 Battle Royale, but not in PlayerUnknown's Battleground, is the ability to put in earplugs. This is very handy when you're in the very loud plane at the beginning of the game, or if you're in a vehicle and you're trying to talk to your squad mates. It's nice to be able to put in your earplugs. PlayerUnknown's Battleground is still early access, and they may add this feature later. It's a very simple thing to add. Alright, so let's talk about the user interface right now. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I think, wins in this area, and they're still improving it. So look at these clips of sniping here. You can see the little lungs in the bottom middle of the screen. These lungs represent myself holding my breath, which is really cool to see, the small meter. Additionally, right above the map, you can see a blue bar, which represents how close the circle is in moving towards me. And you can see the little symbol of the running man, which represents me, and this shows that since it's at the far right, I'm already within the next circle. So this is very easy to quickly tell if you have to sprint in towards a circle or if you're already in the safe zone. Additionally, you notice that there's basically a compass on the top of the screen in PlayerUnknown's Battleground. In Arma 3, there's no compass. You actually have to physically pull out your compass, which takes a little time and adds some realism. Let's look at a comparison of the maps in Arma 3 Battle Royale and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So one thing that I really like about Arma 3 is the topographical map. This is really helpful if you're trying to determine your distance to an enemy you're trying to snipe who's in the distance. Being able to see where the enemy is on a hillside and then look at the map to determine how far that is very helpful. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds doesn't have the topographical lines on their map. However, I do prefer their distance markings. The yellow marks always represent a kilometer, and the small gray marks, I don't know if you can see them here, represent 100 meters. In Arma 3 Battle Royale, you can't really tell, depending on your zoom level, the grid might be kilometers or it might be 100 meters, and it sometimes can be confusing. Now, Arma 3 Battle Royale is cool that you can draw on the maps, and these drawings are visible to your squad mates, so you can draw arrows, lines, to help you plan a route of attack. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds lacks this capability, but does have map markers that you can place. Now, as you enjoy this clip of a nice car collision in Arma 3 Battle Royale, I just wanted to mention that Battle Royale still seems a little bit laggy, a little bit clunky. I don't know how to describe it. But compared to PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which just is a little bit smoother. Speaking of vehicle collisions, PlayerUnknown's Battleground seems to be a little bit more graceful in allowing you to slam into a car or a rock without instantly killing you, as you would be in Arma 3 Battle Royale. So when you put all these things together, having played both games, I prefer PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds just a little bit more. The sum of all these differences just add up in their favor, in my opinion. But Arma 3 Battle Royale is still an amazing game. The realism it gives is really unprecedented, and I really hope, in fact, that PlayerUnknown takes some things from his Arma 3 mod and moves it into his new standalone game, PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Hopefully this is helpful for you. I will see you out on the battlefield.